How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. And as promised before on my first impressions video, that if I was to pick up the shoes, that I would do a better shoe review for you guys, because a lot of people, despite that they appreciated the information, they still feel for some reason that not having the product in hand makes it to where the shoe review is invalid. But all that aside, I finally did pull the trigger and buy them, and I'm very glad that I did, because I really like the shoes. Today we're going to be reviewing the Tyshawn Pro Model from Adidas, and I'm not going to be going over or trying to compare what I said previously for the last video to this one. I'm just going to go completely fresh and just talk about everything for the shoe, whether or not I've already said it before. So let's go ahead and begin. So just let that fall. So this is a mid-top shoe, and it is, I'd say, kind of in between a low and a mid. It doesn't necessarily go up super high in the back. It does have a nice little crease going down towards the heel, and the tongue, I would say, is minimally padded, maybe a little bit closer to mid. But one really cool feature about the shoe, there's a lot of things on the inside of the shoe, and I'll start going into that slowly but surely. But for the tongue, not only does it have this really nice soft material on the tongue, but when you press against it, it's almost like a memory foam, and it starts to slowly but surely go back into shape. So when you step your foot into it, it feels really nice and soft while also being very secure in the shoe. And the shoe has a breathable tongue. Unfortunately, it does not have any centering straps or tongue gussets, whatever you'd like to call them, but with the way that you tie the laces and the fact that if you do wear your shoes with the tongue sticking out as so, the material on the tongue or the suede going to the edges would be able to hopefully keep your tongue centered, so that way it's not all the way to the side, or it is not going as such when you're skating. The collar is minimally padded, and it does have the same type of material that you would find on the tongue, so that way it feels really nice and comfortable. And it does have a little bit of the same type of padding as the Suchu 1 and the Boost Knits that kind of keeps your foot in place. They're not defined like the other ones. The other ones had stitching around it to make it very defined as far as that there is padding there. This one is just really nicely padded, and it has a few different areas that the padding sticks out a little bit farther than the rest, but it is not as defined, again, as the Suchu 1 and the Boost Knits. And so the heel clip, heel stabilizer on the inside of the shoe is really nice, and it keeps your foot really secure, and it is a very comfortable shoe to wear. Despite that, it does look very big. Your foot does sit really nice and lower than expected in the shoe. Going to the lacing area, you have only one area that really more or less protects your laces, which is right here in the very front lower lace area, but it is still so exposed, and the suede sits so flush that you don't really have anything, again, to protect it. Just be careful with those flip tricks, but it does sit a lot higher as far as the lacing system. It's not real low, so that way it gives you the best chance of not busting your laces. So with that said, we go to the side panel, and it is, again, really, really flush. It overlaps, but it's not to the extent that you would really feel it so much, especially when you're skating. You will have a little bit that kind of frays and nicks, especially the stitches, because it is only double stitched. However, it does sit really nice and flush, so that way it has, again, the best chance of not getting anything torn through super quick. And it does have the suede go over the stripes right here. It adds a little bit of extra protection for the lacing area, so that way the lacing doesn't start to rip, and the material doesn't start to rip through, so that way the laces become a lot looser. I've had it before, especially doing like heel flips, and when I was really learning like Casper flips when I was a lot younger, I started actually busting this area, and the lace eventually tore out. So a little bit extra protection there adds to feeling more secure and a little bit tighter throughout the life of the shoe. So we have the toe. Really nice toe. It's not incredibly pointed, nowhere near blunt and super rounded whatsoever, but it is a really nice toe. It is wider than the traditional other models of Adidas. I wear a size 11. In most other brands, in Adidas, I wear a 11.5, and it fits really, really well. Perfect, especially for the width of my foot, because my forefront is of my foot is a little bit wider, so that's really, really nice. And it has ventilation holes right in the very front, so that way it's a little bit more breathable. It also has ventilation holes behind each one of the stripes, so here, here, here. In the very front, it has ventilation holes as well, so that way it stays really breathable. On the other side of the shoe as well, ventilation holes, so that way the shoe is nice and cool and you don't have swamp foot. So with that said, we're gonna go to the sole of the shoe, and it is a cup sole, favorite type of shoe to wear. And despite that it has a little bit of a bulk look to it, this black part right here, this is what's considered the inner bulk wrap. So this is what, as has been described on multiple different websites before the release, people were wondering, what is an inner bulk wrap? What does it mean? And it's the same kind of thing that you'd find in the Lucas Premier ADVs, where it has a wrap of the Volk lining, and then it has the cup sole that's molded around it. And what it's supposed to do, at least just my opinion, is supposed to keep your shoe a lot more secure, because again, it is put into a cooker first for the Volk wrap. This is all just, again, I have another video you can watch, is how to spot the difference between cup and Volk, and I believe I do explain in that, but if not, when it comes to vulcanized shoes, they have a fox tape that goes around the sole, the midsole, and the upper, and then it's put into a cooker once it's glued, and that's how you get the vulcanized shoes to stay together, and then eventually the glue wears off. That's why you get some shoes that talk around the bend areas, they start to tear apart. Cup sole shoes, it's just a solid piece of material, and therefore it is not cooked. That's why it comes a lot more stiff, but it is a lot harder to actually break it in. However, what's good about that is, and this is just again generalized cup soles, is that it makes it to where it lasts a lot longer. The treading is a lot harder to bear out, and it stays comfortable a lot longer. It helps with impact protection as well, so that way you have a lot more distance between your actual foot and the board and the ground. Back to the shoe though, you have a really nice tread. It takes a while to actually wear it down, and you have the same type of tread as dual density, so you have the same tread and material at the forefront that you do at the heel, and then you have this material that's a lot harder where your primo area is, so that way it doesn't hurt when landing primo. And as far as the shoe, that pretty much is it. There's nothing else really too significant really to talk about. Oh, sorry, I have one last thing. Same thing I forgot in my first impression video. The insole is literally nothing special. It is just there. So if any of you guys are looking for a little bit more support, aftermarket insoles are going to be your go-to for that. So that's it. Great shoe. Love the look of the shoe. And it also is really light. So it's, despite how big it looks, it is really light. And it feels great on foot. It has really good flexibility, especially again for a mid-style shoe. It has really good flexibility, and it will break in rather quickly compared to other cup soles, depending on what you skate. The more you I guess take impact, the greater it'll break in, just because you land on your feet a lot more versus just skating, traditionally, like transition, it'll take a little bit longer to break in, just personal experience talking. But other than that, great shoe, love the look, basketball inspired, Tyshawn Jones Pro Model shoe. And if you like the video and want to see more, go ahead, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification to be notified whenever a new video goes up. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit a like and share the video, and it does a lot more for the channel than you guys think. I would really like to be able to keep this channel going, especially after the COPPA rules and regulations. I'm still looking into that, because there's a lot of other little nuances that are added into COPPA that will make a lot of people unfortunately have to either terminate their channels, remake a new channel, and it's just ridiculous. So I'm still looking into that as much as I can, but any type of help will keep this channel going. so that way I can keep doing stuff like this for you guys. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.